Okay, Eddington. I just saw Eddington last night, and I liked it. It was alright. I mean, this is my first Ari Aster film I've seen. I haven't seen Midsummer. I think he did that, or Hereditary. Was it one of those, or both of them? I haven't seen Beau is Afraid, which my friend watched when that came out, not knowing it was 3 hours at like 11 p.m. So that was quite the surprise for him. He didn't really like it, and honestly, I don't know what that's about. I completely forgot that Beau is Afraid was a thing until Eddington came out. But let's talk about Eddington. So Eddington tells this fun little story about like this rivalry between the local sheriff and the mayor in the small town of Eddington, New Mexico. And I really liked the dynamic between Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal. It was just fun seeing those two like bounce off each other in certain scenes. And I was surprised at how little Pedro Pascal is in this film. I mean, I can do with less Pedro. I feel like he's everywhere now, and he's playing a lot of roles that I feel like he's not the best fit for. Like, oh my god, don't even get me started on Wonder Woman. He was horrible. He wasn't horrible. It's just the way he just was not meant for that role. The way he acts, it just did not come off naturally. But I felt in this role, Pedro fit perfectly. Like very down to earth kind of mayor, wearing the wearing the cowboy hat and everything, just mingling with the citizens, which I guess you kind of have to when you're a small town mayor like that. And Joaquin Phoenix, he's obviously number one. He's the star. I love him in this film. I'm not the biggest Joaquin fan. Like he's great in all his films, but I don't know what it is. There's just something about him I don't like. But he was like perfectly cast. He's just the perfect amount of like awkwardly misinformed right wing, where he's still very, very empathetic until the halfway point of the film. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. Like I was enjoying the film at first, but it just kept going, and it was like, well, now I'm just losing interest. And then something happens in the middle, and suddenly I was like, oh, now I'm really locked in. And the movie just completely just flips kind of at that halfway point. And this is kind of a both sides ism kind of film, because this film doesn't really take any sides politically. It shows the goofiness of both sides. Well, and it also showcases the extremism of both sides, which I don't know if that's hugely accurate, which I don't know if that's like a very responsible or accurate portrayal, but I'll take that over heavily leaning towards one side or the other, especially one of the sides is incorrect. But it was kind of funny how this film took me and my whole theater, I guess, because the theater I was in was really into it. It just took us all down a trip to memory lane to 2020, May 2020. That's a very important piece info for this film. And just the goofiness and quirkiness of just that time period, not knowing what to do with COVID, the masks, racial injustice going on. What I don't like was that it didn't really tackle the impact of actual COVID deaths. Because over 1 million Americans died from COVID, and it's still a collective trauma I feel America is still like reeling from. It's not something that's really talked about, especially now, since COVID is still very, very political. I feel like if I made a film like this, I would have tackled that as well. Just throwing on like, hey, this was an actual pandemic. People actually died. Like people lost loved ones. But what we got was some weirdly political comedy, which kind of turns into an action film towards the end. Like I don't want to spoil too much. Like I haven't seen I haven't seen any Ari Asters, so I wasn't expecting this to be pretty comedic. I was giggling, I was laughing. And then there's this one character, the Native American cop from the Pueblo land, like right next to the town. He was great. Like he's only in it for like 10 minutes, but I feel like he stole the show each time he was in the shot or in this scene. Like he just felt like such a down to earth, like real character when there's like this wackiness going on. There was this weird subplot with Emma Stone and this cult leader, because Emma Stone plays Joaquin Phoenix's wife in this film. And really, when I look back on it, I'm not really sure what it added. just the wife character on her own. Like, Joaquin Phoenix tried to exploit something from her past for his political campaign, and I can see why she went with the decision she made. But the cult leader and all that, like, I don't know if that was really necessary. It just felt like another wacky character, just for the sake of having another wacky character, who was played by Austin Butler, who did a great job. No Elvis voice in this one, unfortunately. But yeah, I would have preferred no cult leader character. I feel Emma Stone, I don't want to get into spoilers, but I feel like Emma Stone's decision would have been more powerful, more realistic, without the cult leader kind of egging her on. And it's really hard to talk about this film without talking about spoilers, because there's such a flip towards the middle. You know what, I'll just start talking spoilers. I guess the film tries to explore the effects of extreme political ideologies and the political violence that could arise from that. So you have like these Antifa guys at the end just shooting up the whole town, and Joaquin Phoenix is trying to stop them. And it just comes out of nowhere, because Joaquin Phoenix's character had just done something before that, and then out of nowhere these Antifa guys show up, start blowing everything up. I'm like, wait, I was more interested in Joaquin Phoenix's storyline and how that would unfold. But now all of a sudden there's a big shootout between Antifa and the three cops in this town, and then suddenly what Joaquin Phoenix did earlier didn't really matter in the end. I don't know, it just, I could have done with a different resolution to Joaquin Phoenix's story. Like, I understand what they were going for, like trying to showcase the downsides of extremist political ideology and violence on both sides. But I was more invested in that Joaquin Phoenix storyline, because before the movie was losing me, then the Joaquin Phoenix stuff happens, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it again. And then I'm like, oh, this is where it's going. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Like, it was still enjoyable. It was still funny. It was still a great watch. My theater really enjoyed it. I can sense the vibe. You know, people were laughing at the jokes. I was laughing at the jokes. I just feel like it doesn't really have much to say politically when it dove head first into such a political time, political movement, just a big political event that happened, like, just 5 years ago. Overall, the movie was fun. The performances were great. Cinematography was like really nothing to write home about. There were some like interesting shots. Like, not every film needs pretty or beautiful cinematography. I'm pretty sure this was shot on film. It looked like a 35, but I would have shot something like this 16, but that's just me. And after watching Eddington, I might check out Ari Asters' other films. It seems he must really like cults and cult leaders, because he just had to shoehorn in some cult leader guy in this film, which detracted from it. But I think I'll give this film like a 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10. Just because the highs, I feel like, are very, very high. Now, I do have A-List, so I did watch this in theaters. If you have A-List, go watch it. But it's definitely one I can enjoy at home. But yeah, I've been watching more movies lately, especially more movies in theaters, and I'm hoping to do more of these. I do want to get to like Superman, maybe Jurassic World, and My Neighbor Totoro is playing in a few days. I love that film. But Eddington, go check it out. And now I'm going to go check out the band Haunt Me.